The death of a husband in Kenya often brings more than just grief to the widow. In a heartbeat, she is thrust into a vortex of cultural practices and societal prejudices that threaten her very existence.
Elsewhere, a 74-year-old widow is crying for justice following a ploy to grab her 3-acre land in Mirera village, Laikipia County.
Now, a widow in Nakuru is seeking justice after her house was destroyed by unknown assailants.
And chaos erupted at St. James Church ACK in Buruburu in Nairobi after a widow and her children caused commotion outside the church, demanding the arrest of one of the church leaders. Now, they accused him of using their land title to secure a loan after deceiving them with false promises to help pay off their initial loan.
Where a widow from the upmarket Ngata estate in Nakuru now claims that her life is in danger after individuals she claims have been attempting to grab her land invaded and destroyed her home Saturday night.
Overseer widow who was jailed for allegedly trespassing on her late husband's land opens a lead on how the mighty and powerful in Siaya may be colluding with the land registry officials, grabbing land from the poor and vulnerable. Now,
the death of a spouse, a deeply personal tragedy, becomes a societal indictment, marking them as burdens, witches, or even the cause of their husband's demise. They face isolation, economic hardship, and horrifying forms of abuse. In one of our most recent cases, the case of Sylvia Ogola, a widow from Siaya County. All was well until the year 2012, when her husband started ailing. A trip from one hospital to the other, and eventually after several tests, they confirmed that her husband had brain cancer. He passed on in June 2012. That is when life turned upside down, and Sylvia began fighting battles she was never prepared for. The family wanted her to leave with the children, but she told them that was the only home she knew. One day, when she had gone for errands and the children were in school, the in-laws broke into her house, threw a few of her items out, demolished the house to the ground, and sold mabati to villagers. Just like that, she was left homeless.
Atashangaa, umejua mama bwana yake alikufa na sasa kama nyumba yake na mume na kuna watoto na tujue amejengewa wapi. Hiyo ndio maana sisi tumekuja tuone. Hatuwezi kuja tu hapa bure. Yeah. Na si ati sisi nini, lazima tuangalie ati nyumba ya huyu mama inabomolewa aje, inabomolewa na nani, mbona? Juu naona vitu zao ziko hapa nje. Wametoa vitu zao nje, matandiko nini ziko hapa nje zote.
Truly, when it rains, it pours. Sylvia's youngest child became unwell and after a few hospital visits succumbed to the illness. The family insisted the baby wasn't going to be buried on their land. Again, the chief came to her rescue, and this time around, he threatened to have the entire family arrested. They let her bury the child. One day, she received a call that her 2 sons had been arrested. They were accused of fighting one of the relatives of their late father. This is now when Come Together Widows and Orphans organization, in partnership with the State Department of Gender, Cradle Foundation, and Affecto Foundation, stepped in to help. The State Department for Gender reached out to Cradle Foundation, who in turn represented the family in court. Affecto Foundation, together with Come Together Widows and Orphans organization, mobilized funds to take the children back to school, where they can continue with their education. These are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of deeply entrenched societal norms that perpetuate the suffering of widows. It's a stark reminder that beneath the veneer of progress, many Kenyan women still grapple with archaic traditions that strip them of their dignity, security, and basic human rights. The government must enact and enforce legislation that protects widows from abuse and exploitation, ensuring their access to justice, inheritance, and economic opportunities. Non-governmental organizations play a critical role in providing widows with essential services, including legal aid, counseling, and economic empowerment programs. By supporting these organizations, we can contribute to creating a safety net for widows and their children. Their fight is our fight, and their victory will be a victory for humanity.